Today, the deadline to register to vote on abortion and cannabis.
Hundreds of Ford employees are being laid off at the local Brook Park engine plant as the United Auto Workers strike continues.
More strikes in Gaza and Israel's response.
Stay tuned for fall weather in Kent and all over Ohio.
This is TV2 News.
Good morning, Portage County. I'm Cale Breuers.
And I'm Logan Merkle. Happy Tuesday. This is TV2 News.
The Kent Alliance Interfaith will host an annual crop walk from 1 to 5 this Sunday, 605 Ravenna Road in Streetsboro. Crop Hunger Walks is a community-based mission to support the Church World Service. The faith-based organized combats natural disasters, hunger, and poverty and displacement. Those interested can register on events.hungerwalk.org.
In Ravenna Township, former Portage Street is now known as Desert E. Liddell Boulevard. The road is named after a Ravenna School District hero, Desert E. Mitchell. Mitchell was instrumental in bringing African-American teachers to the Ravenna School District.
People living in Portage County that have lost a loved one to a drug overdose or who have survived a drug overdose themselves will be getting a visit from a newly formed team. The Portage County Sheriff's Office launched a quick response team that will meet with those who have survived a drug overdose. The team offers a number of services to those victims. The team will have on hand naloxone, an antidote for an opioid overdose, as well as mental health resources.
Hello and good morning, Kent State. This is Trent Branchin bringing you the weather for TV2. After last week's heat wave, it is time to bring out the sweaters and the pumpkin spice lattes because fall weather is upon us. Looking in Kent, it is 56 degrees, but it feels like 38. Brr. The dew point is 35 degrees, and the wind is east to southeast at 12 miles per hour. Probably not a good idea to go outside and play basketball. A little too windy for that. The humidity, 77%, and the visibility is about 10 miles in front of you. Today, at noon, it'll be 53 degrees, partly cloudy, partly sunny, and it'll feel like 49. At 3 p.m., it will be 55 degrees and cloudy, and it'll feel like 52. At 6, it'll be super cloudy, and it'll feel like 52. Looking otherwhere in Ohio, it will be very cold around the lake, 46 in Sandusky, 48 in Cleveland, and 46 in Ashtabula. In the middle of the state, in Mansfield at 58, Worcester at 55, Canton at 54, and beautiful, beautiful Kent at 56, and Youngstown at 55. Well, that is all the freezing cold weather that I have for you today. I'm going to go grab some hot chocolate and find a campfire. Stay warm, Flashes. This is Trent Branchin, signing off.
Today is the deadline to register to vote on abortion and marijuana. Quote, "The last thing you want is to cast your ballot and discover that you don't have the rolls," Jonathan Anton says. This issue will decide nearly 12 million people if you have access to abortion and legalized marijuana. Study shows that a voter that is inactive for at least 2 elections, items are removed from the ballot. So go out and vote.
Ohio Supreme Court ruled to scrap the drag banning bill. Citizens in Columbus submitted a proposed ordinance to classify drag performances as adult cabaret performances after a drag queen dressed as an elf in the Christmas parade. Equality Ohio says that they want to create a loving and positive environment. Getting rid of that bill was a part of the process.
Ohio lawmakers are trying to pass a bill banning minors from using tanning bed services. The current state law prohibits those under the age of 16. Lawmakers want to bump that up to 18. Studies show that people that use tanning beds frequently increase their lifelong likeliness of contracting lymphoma. This bill is being reviewed in the Ohio Senate.
Hundreds of Ford employees have not shown up to their job in weeks. As the United Auto Workers strike continues, more employees in Chicago, Detroit, and other major cities decided to strike. The absence of people at the manufacturing plants has left the local Brook Park engine plant to lay off 376 workers. Workers in Toledo and Streetsboro have also been on strike.
California teacher beats an Italian pumpkin record on Monday.
In the self-proclaimed pumpkin.
Tomorrow's news leaders.
Today's top stories.
From an award-winning student newsroom.
This is TV2 News, truly Portage County.
Ohio flags are at half-staff in remembrance of the 9 U.S. citizens killed in Israel just 3 days ago. The attacks carried out by Hamas. On Monday, the conflict had taken around 1,600 lives only in the first day of fighting. Increased airstrikes are being carried out on Gaza, and there's an expected ground invasion by Israeli forces this week.
Moving away from what's going on around Ohio, let's look more at what's going on with the Israel conflict.
We have our correspondent Emilio Hernandez with the latest. What's the story, Emilio?
Thanks, guys. Today we start in Gaza with the information that even more strikes happened last night. Dozens of Israel Defense Force fighter jets struck over 200 targets in Gaza last night. The IDF said the targets in the Mall and Khan Yunis neighborhoods were places where a number of attacks against Israel were directed from. In Khan Yunis, the IDF said it caught a Jihad terror infrastructure. There was also a Hamas weapons storage site located inside a mosque. And among other targets, the operational terror infrastructure used by terror operatives, according to the IDF. Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu vows that military retaliation on Gaza will only intensify after Hamas' brutal terror attacks in Israel. Numerous U.S. political leaders from both parties have condemned the Hamas attacks and pledged to stand with Israel. These pledges of support coming as Hamas threatens to broadcast the execution of hostages if Israel targets people in Gaza without warning. Demonstrators on both sides of the Israel-Palestine conflict faced off outside the Israel consulate in downtown San Francisco over the violence in Israel. Pro-Palestinian protesters condemned Israel's action and called for the liberation of Palestine. Pro-Israel protesters condemned the Hamas terror attacks and called for an end to violence. That's all we have for today. For more stories, go to TV2 News at Kent Wired, and thank you for watching.
Good morning, Portage County. The Cheeseheads made their way out to Vegas to watch their Green Bay Packers take on the Las Vegas Raiders on Monday night. Let's get right into it. We're going to start things off at Allegiant Stadium as the Raiders take on the Packers headed by young quarterback Jordan Love. He had his fair share of struggles. Let's get right into it. Jimmy G, former Patriot to former Patriot, he's going to find his man Jacoby Myers, both of their only touchdowns for the day. Now, here's where the struggles begin for quarterback Jordan Love. He's going to throw his first of 3 interceptions, 2 of which are picked off by Robert Spillane. Now, after the half, Jimmy G is going to roll out, and he is intercepted by safety Rudy Ford. A.J. Dillon is immediately going to capitalize off of this as he's going to pound the rock in for 6, one of his 20 carries on the night, and the Raiders will respond. At the beginning of the 4th quarter, Josh Jacobs is in for 6. Now, at the end of the game on the line, Jordan Love, he's going to roll out and he's going to look for Christian Watson deep, and he's picked off for the 3rd and final time. Might have got away with some pass interference, but nonetheless it was not called. The Raiders are going to take this game at home 17-13, and they're going to advance to 2-3 on the season. The Kent State women's soccer team travels out to Bowling Green to face the Falcons on Thursday at 7 p.m. The Falcons are on a 4-game win streak and are unbeaten in the conference. And meanwhile, the Flashes are coming off a win against Central Michigan and look to add another win to the books. That's all I have for the field right now, but be sure to tune in to the newscast tonight at 6 when I have your playoff baseball highlights. I've been Anthony Leonardi. I'll catch you later, Portage County.
A California teacher set the world record Monday for growing the world's largest pumpkin. Travis Granner won the 50th World Championship Pumpkin Weigh-Off. The pumpkin could, in theory, create up to 700 pumpkin pies. The previous world record was held in Italy for a pumpkin that weighed around 2,000 pounds. The new record holder is 3,000 pounds.
A group of elementary schoolers decided to make a running club, but this club had more of a meaning than just running. The kids were running to encourage their fellow classmate. 9-year-old Michael Carranza is a new student at Marion X Elementary School in Arizona who has been battling a form of brain cancer for years. Fellow classmates created the running club to encourage him to keep fighting.
That's all we have for today, Kent State University and Portage County. Thank you so much for joining us.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And that is all for TV2 News today.
Thank you.